All right, you guys, this is the Keeping It Raw podcast. Back at you with another video on today. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we put up an upload. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, guys, yesterday the Detroit Lions make a move. It wasn't the move that many fans probably thought that they were going to make. They thought that the Lions would probably go out to a corner, maybe a defensive end, or even a defensive tackle. But they decided to go and replace Marvin Jones, which I don't have a problem with them replacing Marvin Jones. Then they got a guy, definitely, man, that can stretch the field and is a good wide receiver, man. He coming off his best career year in the NFL last season with the Cleveland Browns, Donovan Peoples-Jones, who they picked up from the trade. He had 61 receptions last year for 839 yards receiving, and he had 3 touchdowns. So one thing I like about Donovan Peoples-Jones is that he can do it all. He can run returns. He can run punts back. And he can be used in the receiving game as well. He can stretch the field. He can catch the deep ball. He can run all the routes that you need him to run coming out of high school. He's from the Detroit area, so definitely he's going back home. And he played for Detroit Cash Tech. And he was one of the best receivers coming out in 2017 from Michigan. So he ended up going to the University of Michigan, ended up playing great ball for the University of Michigan, and then ended up getting drafted by the Cleveland Browns. And this year, he pretty much was kind of being used sparingly. You know, I thought that he would have probably took off even more this year, especially coming off the year that he had last season with the Browns. But the Browns started picking up all these different receivers, Cooper, and they picked up the receiver from the Jets, Elijah Moore. So it was just a lot of different things going on. But I definitely think that it was a great pickup for the Lions to pick up Donovan Peoples-Jones. I thought that they should have drafted him a couple years ago, but now only to bounce back after 4 years later and go and pick him up to add to the receiving core. Hopefully he'll be able to put his stamp with these guys and things of that nature and get hit the ground running when he gets to Detroit. Still trying to figure out the Jameson Williams thing, how the Lions are going to use him, because Jameson has been having drops, and it's just the chemistry has just been off. It hasn't really been what we thought that it would be with Jameson Williams. So hopefully, man, Jameson Williams, after the bye week, will be able to, start catching more balls and being more active, because they drafted this kid to take the top off the defense. And so far, we have not seen that. And I'm not going to say that he's a disappointment. I'm just saying that right now, the chemistry with him and Jared Goff has just not been there. You know, whether it's him dropping balls or whether him not just being acclimated to the system yet, or whatever it may be that's going on with Jameson Williams. It just has not worked so far. So hopefully when Jameson Williams comes off that bye week, he'll be able to add to this receiving group and be able to help this team get to where they want to go. But I definitely think that Donovan Peoples-Jones is a solid pickup for the Lions. And he's going to bring that versatility. He can catch the deep ball. He can run all the routes. And if you need him to run punts, he can also run punt back. So that's one thing I like about the trade and about them getting a guy like Donovan Peoples-Jones. So definitely bringing him back. I know his family is going to be happy that he's with the Detroit Lions, because he'll be playing. A lot of his fans and friends will be able to get an opportunity to see him play, those that did not get a chance to really see him play with the Cleveland Browns. So shout out to Donovan Peoples-Jones, man, for the Lions making the trade to bring him in. They did trade a 6th-round pick to retain his rights. But I think it was the right decision, man, to get a guy that's younger and to get a guy that has accomplished a little bit in the NFL. He doesn't have a huge body of work out there, but he does have a sample size. And definitely I like what I saw from him when he was at Cleveland. He was able to catch that deep ball, and he was able to run different routes and being able to be reused in the punt game as well. So definitely, man, shout out to the Detroit Lions for just staying put, man. A lot of us did want the Chase Young thing to really, really fall, because we feel as fans that Aiden Hutchinson needs help. He can't do this thing by himself. The defense has to get better, man. And sometimes it can be fool's gold when all these guys played well on Monday night, and then it comes on Sunday when they gotta play again, these guys don't show up. That's my biggest thing. I just get tired of the inconsistency from the pass rush. 1 week these guys are balling out, and then the next week these guys can't get a sack or they can't get pressure. So, that was my biggest thing. I did want to see these guys get a corner. I did want to see them get a defensive tackle or a defensive end, but they decided not to do that. And Brad Holmes just stayed put. So it looks like he's going to keep the money and he's going to keep the draft capital. And we'll see what the Lions do in the offseason as far as getting better in the trenches on the defensive side of the ball. All right, you guys, this is Raw Podcast, and I'll be back to you soon with another video. I'm out of here. Peace.